Let's just go at it naturally. We're already recorded. It is what it is. So
hey guys, welcome back to another episode of All Talk with Jem and Chris. I am your host, Jem.
And I'm your host, Chris. This is episode 4, I believe.
I think so. I've lost track.
Yeah, episode 4. I know we've been away for a while, but...
we're trying to get back into the group with you
guys. Yeah, but we in this shit. We got a lot of shit to talk about. We got a lot of follow-up to some of the topics that we touched base on last 2 weeks ago, whatever. And then we have to address some issues. I don't want to say critics, because we're not that big yet. So, issues for now, and then... but yeah, we'll get into it. We have a song for y'all at the end, so... Let's do this shit. You want to start with 21 Savage?
Yeah, guys. So, with the way that we record our show, sometimes we miss a lot of the things that happen, but we're going to still talk about them because they're still relevant. If they're trending on Twitter, they're relevant. So we do want to talk about 21 Savage. Last time we recorded the show, it had just broke that he was detained by ICE. And then, as the weeks progressed, it went on, and we were finding all sorts of shit about him. And now he's released. He is free.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that
he's not a clone. Well,
yes. I feel like, Chris and I are very, we love conspiracies.
Yeah, we're open-minded, but that's kind of wild.
But yeah, that was just insane. They were saying how, his hair was growing in. Like, even if you've been in jail for one night, you look different when you come out the next day. So I feel like...
I know from experience. Yeah.
So I feel like I was like
the hardest motherfucker out there.
Yeah. So 7 days, obviously you're going to change. He was describing that he had been, in a room for 24 hours, by himself and things like that. And I just feel like, was it honestly, truly that serious?
I don't think so. From what I read is he was a 23 hour solitary confinement. He was allowed to be out of the room for 1 hour. So, if you look different coming out of there after 7 days, can you really blame him? Like, have you tried being in a fucking room for 23 hours? No,
right.
It's just crazy. And no, I don't think that shit was that serious, at all. And it sucks because, he obviously, it's good that he's out now, but his battle has just begun. He still has to go to court. They still haven't decided if he's going to be deported or not. None of that shit has really been, determined yet. So, he's out. He's with his family. I saw a picture of him with his mom, which is cool, and he looked happy.
The Grammys did her dirty, though. The Grammys did her dirty. And that's another thing I want to talk about, too.
Yeah, that was
the Grammys. What they did to him was very messed up.
Same with Mac Miller.
Right.
When they don't invite the family if you're not going to give them the award. Basically, it just sucks. And, I love Cardi B. We've talked about this. We both love Cardi. I love her to death. But her fucking album was not the best rap album.
I just feel like maybe, I don't know, give it to Mac Miller. I don't know, because he's dead.
Yeah, it was an honor. Don't invite the family. His mom was there. Why would you invite him and say, oh yeah, he's gonna win the award, you're gonna be there to accept it, and then she leaves empty-handed?
Well, the cool thing was that Cardi B, she said that she was gonna share the award with his family, which was cool. I don't know
break it in half?
I think it was cool that she even acknowledged him. But a lot of people were upset that, XX... whatever his name is, wasn't even... Tekashi. Yeah, he wasn't even mentioned in anything.
Right. But would she have acknowledged Mac Miller and said she was going to share the award if some of the people hadn't turned up with the fact that he didn't get it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
You know what I mean? So what was the motive?
But one of the biggest things for me, too, I had seen on social media was people pretty much, downplaying her worth. I think that as far as... we got to think about what rap is today and what it was before. So speaking in today's terms, that is the hottest rap album. Was it, let's say in the 90s, would she have been where she's at? No.
But was it the hottest rap album? Because I don't think it was hotter than Drake's Scorpion.
Honestly,
I don't think it was, you know what I mean?
I think that Drake didn't have as many as she, I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like... Hits, right. I feel like Cardi B is she knew what she was doing and she ended up on a different, level. And people wanted her to win that Grammy.
I just feel like there should be, for an album like that, for a project like that, there should be a separate category in the Grammys or whatever fucking award show it is, because it's not a rap album. She's not a rapper. She doesn't write her music. I don't consider you a rapper. You know what I mean? So there should have been a category that said, biggest hip-hop album. Okay.
Wow, guys.
You know what I mean?
It's so funny that Chris and I have finally found something that we disagree on. Chris and I are very much the same.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know if it's because I'm such a huge feminist, but at the same time, I feel like Cardi got herself out of the slums of Love and Hip Hop, and I feel like anyone that's ever watched that show knows to get off of it and to make your own check is absolutely
right.
It's very fucking hard because a lot of people on that show they cling to that for their like, you know, their stardom. They're saying that they're celebrities when really they're just on a fucking stupid show that they argue and fight with people. So I think for me, seeing her get up there and win that, especially after what her stupid ass husband did to her,
it was cool.
It was a good moment. But
I'm not mad at it. It's just that.
I feel like they should have gone a different way, though. I feel like everyone should have gotten honorary Grammy, you know, as far as Mac Miller. I'm not really too hot on the, you know, XX dude. I really don't. I don't know how I feel about him. I don't know if his music was even in that, you know, high of, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Mac, too, that pissed before. Like, his mother was not even allowed to go there. I don't think that they, you know, like.
Fucked up.
I don't know.
You know, we'll say this one last thing that we'll get off the Grammys because we kind of like...
We
went away from 21 Savage. But, like, back to the point that you were saying, like, it was cool for Cardi to win an album. I mean, to win the Best Rap Album, win a Grammy, like, the biggest award. It was cool because, you know, she came from Love and Hip Hop and being a stripper and all this shit. But it's like, why does that take away from the fact from somebody like Pusha T or Nipsey who also... build themselves out from the ghetto, from selling drugs and doing whatever they had to do for money. They were amazing rap albums. So it's like
the thing with the Grammys is that it's directed to a certain demographic. I feel like a lot of us that like, let's for example, you mentioned Nipsey Hussle and you mentioned
Pusha T.
And Jadakiss has said this before. You know, they're not pop. They're not, you know, they're not.
That's
pop.
why I hate award shows.
And there is a pop rap genre, and I think like, you know, you got girls who can't fight worth a shit, listen to Cardi B, and you know, act like they're about to turn it up in the club.
That's who she makes. Break up with her man
right. That's who she makes music for. That's who she attracts. And the Grammys, they play off of that. All these big award shows, they play off of this whole.
Right. It's the hits.
You know what I mean? It's just the hits. It's really nothing more to them. It's not anything serious to them. To them, it's just, you know, these people are out and poppy right now, so they're making money. So you'll never see J. Cole on the Grammys. You'll never see Eminem on the Grammys. You'll never see, Eminem not anymore. You'll never see these people that are lyricists versus these pop artists. And I think that's the thing.
We need to get our own motherfucking award show to like really award like, you know,
and the BET Awards was really cool until it went downhill. I think
BET itself went downhill, which sucks.
Exactly. No one, and I feel like
there's no more culture.
There is no culture at all. Like, look at how they dragged Nicki Minaj the other day. I'm not her fan, but I feel like, come on, dude, like really saying.
And I'm glad she pulled out of it. She said, I'm not doing the BET Experience shit anymore. And now they want to apologize. Now, fuck out of here.
Because they said what they said, and I feel like that just goes to show, like, they're also a part of this shitty culture, like the Grammys, and they're not for everybody. It's just for a select, you know, demographic of people and type of music listeners.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's like, that's why I like, I don't know if you ever watched the Revolt channel, Daily's channel. I like that shit. Because
I like Fuse.
If you watch, you know, and if you're watching Revolt, that I'm not trying to like give publicity to other shows and shit, because I'm not, you know, that's not what we're about here, but that's State of the Culture show with Joe Budden and Remy Ma and whoever else is on that shit is dope, because it's really talking about the culture and shit that we used to have in hip-hop.
It's real
BET.
conversations.
And MTV, when it was just music, it was like, it sucks that it's not really about that anymore, but, you know, it is what it is. But let's get back to the 21 shit, because this shit got crazy. So, like she said, last time we recorded the episode, she had literally just told me, like, oh shit, 21 was just detained by ICE, and he's an immigrant, he's not really from ATL, he's British. And that was all we knew, because, like, that shit the news had just broke the other day.
Right.
So, you know, it's been, about 2 weeks since we recorded last episode?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 2 weeks. So, obviously, a lot more shit came to the surface where, you know, we found out that he was arrested by ICE, and he was detained, and 23-hour lockup in 1 hour, the shit that I already talked about.
Like, he had killed 47 people
right.
or some shit.
Then I read more into it, and apparently the police were trying to say that they pulled him over and arrested him because he had a loaded gun, and he was doing some crazy shit, and he was doing reckless driving, and he attempted to ram a police vehicle. And then now when I saw that shit, I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. But then the cool thing was that ICE came out and said, no, like, ICE, we pulled him over, arrested him for the sole purpose of him being an illegal immigrant.
Right.
That was it. There was no, like, him wilding out on the highway or
Right, it's not Too Fast, Too Furious.
not Too Fast and Furious. He didn't have and if there was a gun in the car, I think there really was a gun in the car, but they determined it wasn't his gun. So none of that shit had anything to do with it. So it's like, it sucks that, the police is still, trying to get the fingers in the hip hop and trying to trash people's name. Like,
right.
It's better. He's going through a hard enough time as it is. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot imagine, especially he has a family here. He's the sole provider for his family. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If he was to get, like, what's it called? Deported. From what I understand, it's like all the money like that he's made, I don't think he's allowed to keep it with him. So it's like, he's the only provider for the family, so like what happens now? You know what I mean? It's like it sucks. And
I don't understand how I feel like something about this doesn't make sense to me, because I feel like him having that much money and being close to his family, someone needed to know that something was up.
Right.
That he
this
needed,
is where the management fucks up to me. I think this is management, and like obviously him at the beginning when he was young, not being a legal immigrant, it wasn't on him because he was a kid. His family never really went through the process, so he didn't go through the process. But now I feel like either management didn't pay attention to his, residential status here, or they really didn't know and just assumed that he really was from ATL and had nothing to worry about that, because like, how often do you really manage a rapper that you have to worry about, is he really from America when you, as far as you know, is from America? So,
right.
You know what I mean? I don't really want to, kill his management team yet, but it just seemed like I feel like it could have been handled a lot better.
And then all of his personal information has been put on, on the internet. I'm sorry, the website on the internet. And I felt like it was just too much, because I feel like this is a serious situation. This is someone's fucking life that we're messing with here.
Yeah.
And why are you posting, his parents' names?
Right.
His birthday. I mean, that's things is very personal. And I feel like that's one of the things with this whole situation that's really bothered me, was the fact that they had to post all of this person's personal information, online.
There was no need. There was no need. So, like I say, he's out now and he's waiting on the trial, and they're gonna, I guess decide if he's gonna be deported or not. I'm hoping that he doesn't get deported, because like I said, like we talked about last episode, he did turn around a lot, and he did kind of change his ways, where he's not really rocking jewelry anymore and being ignorant and all the shit. He's doing shit for his city, for kids. He's, he started that program I talked about where he's kind of teaching kids in school how to save money. And so it's like, I'm hoping that, the government and ICE and whoever's in charge of that shit really kind of takes that into consideration, says, all right, cool, we're going to let you stay here, get your shit together, become legal, and we'll let it go. So I guess we have to just, be on the lookout, see what really happens. Another thing that kind of bothered me, sticking to the 21 Savage topic, was I did see a lot of support from the culture. I saw a lot of people saying, oh, yo, look, we should get this, funds together.
Right,
let's all be together.
Accounts, yeah.
Let's go fund the account. Let's go do this. Let's help 21 Savage. Let's all be together. Let's pray. Let's do whatever we can to do to get him out of here. So it's like, okay, that's cool. And it's cool to see the culture, hip hop, rap, whatever,
actually standing
Hollywood.
up for each other.
Right.
Instead of,
trashing each other.
Right.
But how honest was that? How legit was that? How is people, I mean, do you really think, is it, might be if it's like, is everybody saying it just to look good for the fans? Like, if I say, like, let's just put an example. Let's say we're famous. Something happens to you, you get locked up. I get some shit together where I say, yo, let's all unite and get Jem out of jail. Let's all put a GoFundMe account. Let's do this shit. Everybody starts praising me like, oh, yeah, this is the kind of shit that I like seeing, where the culture sticks up for each other. But I never do it. And there's no actions come behind from what I say. So, and I feel like a lot of people are doing that. I feel like a lot of people are saying this just to fit in with the rest of the people who really want to help, and for the publicity. Like, oh, look, if I say that I'm going to help out and do this, then people are going to talk about me, and they're going to, you know what I mean? They're going to look at me in a positive way.
And I feel like that's one of the, in our culture, that's very fucking huge.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
people just, like you said, people just saying stuff just to fucking say it.
Right.
And for him, I think that with his situation, it was very delicate. he's never. I don't think even he understands how serious. Because I watched his interview, and I really don't think he understands how serious the situation was. And I feel like if it was me, I would be super upset with my parents.
100%.
Because you guys are my parents. Like, it's your job to help me and get me through certain steps, and then at a certain point you say, hey, listen, you're on your own now.
That shit's no joke. Like, I'm doing the process right now. Like, this shit is not easy. It takes a long time, and it's really expensive. Like, I have, March the 11th, I have the last appointment where I have to fucking learn 100 questions about, like, U.S.'s history. Most of the shit that even white people don't even know. Like who's the 43rd president, or, kind of shit like that. So I have to read a fucking book and learn all those answers. They ask you 10, you're only allowed to miss, like, 1 or 2. Otherwise, they fail. You have to pay another $1,000, whatever it is, do the whole process all over again. So it's a long process, which is, like, it's crazy to know that the parents either didn't know or didn't give a fuck to, like, really.
I feel like, and to me, with my parents being immigrants and coming over from another country, there's no way that they didn't know, because I feel like even when you know what I mean, like, that pisses me off, and they put this person in a very fucked up situation. So now,
especially when he's under the spotlight and they're gonna find out.
And like you said, if he ends up not being able to take his money with him, that's just a whole. And I'm not saying that 21 Savage is like the most greatest entertainer, and he's so talented. He is a very good artist. I like his music. It's cool to bump in the gym, and he's actually doing something. But I feel like they're not understanding the situation could really fuck up his life and set him back. Right,
and his kids and family. Like I said, he's a sole provider. So, like, now what happens? But it was cool because I did see that. Jay-Z, Hova, he did step in and he hired some legal team to help him out. It is crazy because, like, I heard and read about that, Jay-Z stepping in to help him out and hiring legal team to help 21 out, and a couple days he's out. A couple days after. So, like, I have to kind of assume that Jay kind of had something to do with it, and it was cool. Like, that's the kind of shit that I like seeing. But it's like all the other people that said, let's do this and do that for 21, let's do this. Like, where is it?
Right.
I see, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see any results from it. So, like, that's my beef. Is like, a lot of those people that are saying they want to do this, and that's publicity, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't respect that. You know what I mean?
Right. And so while we're on this topic of 21, around that time was Super Bowl Sunday. And Demi Lovato had, I'm sure everybody already knows this. She had made her comments and stuff. Pretty much just what we all do when we get on Twitter.
Yeah, it's just something about, like, the favorite part about this 21 Savage situation was the memes. And, like, so a lot of, like, the culture just kind of killed her. Like, you shouldn't be laughing at this. Like, we all held it down for you when you overdosed and you were in the hospital. Which they didn't.
Nobody held it down for her because all they did was trash her and say that, she was a crackhead and this and that. And,
a lot of people did, though. A lot of people that I saw, a lot of, like, artists I follow.
But aside from artists, people in general were, completely
for sure.
just trashing her. And I feel like...
But as far as, like, the culture in general, like, hip-hop, from what I saw and from a lot of people saw, a lot of people were really supportive of Demi and said, we hope you get through this. It's a really bad time, because a lot of these rappers also went through, like, drug addiction, so they know what it's like to sympathize. So that's what, like, kind of made them kill her, because, like, look, we held it down for you, we were there for you, we supported you, and now when one of ours is, like, in the fucking gutter, the only thing you can say is, like, it's funny.
As someone that's black, I truly don't think that it's that serious. And I'm so thankful a lot of other black people said the same thing.
Right.
She literally just retweeted, reposted a meme. And I feel like...
But, like, unfortunately, today, society and the social networking has made everybody really sensitive.
And one of my biggest issues, and I got into an argument with one of my closest friends on Twitter about this, pretty much saying that, because she is a lighter skin Hispanic woman, she has no right to kind of participate in the jokes.
Right.
And what really pissed me off was that, black people, you're each other's biggest enemies. And I feel like I can say that freely because I've witnessed it and I've seen it happen. And these people completely tore this girl down, telling her to stick a needle in her arm and things like that, not truly understanding that she is really struggling with with a disease. And I feel like you guys are attacking her for the same things that black people, do to each other every single day. So why not come down as hard on each other as they did on this person who literally just reposted something? It wasn't like she created the meme. She didn't start saying anything. She literally just reposted something. And then now people are saying that, she should kill herself and she should overdose. Really just taking it to a whole other level. And as much as I don't like Tory Lanez, he actually stood up for her and was like, why are you guys even, like, saying this stuff to her, because it really wasn't that serious. A lot of, younger black people were kind of stepping up for her and saying, like, dude, like, what is,
Yeah.
What is the problem, you know? And I feel like that really pissed me off. There was really no need to take it to that extremity. Like, and that's just, you know, I guess now we like we were talking before we started recording, she's checking back into rehab.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I read that.
It's really shitty. It's really shitty.
And they said it was because of the backlash and shit, and she felt really bad. Like, she apologized. I have to, like, look, I didn't mean it like that, and okay, cool. Like, what you said, like, it's on the internet. Everybody saw it, but she apologized, and I guess she checked herself into rehab. That doesn't necessarily mean she overdosed or she relapsed, but maybe she just went into rehab to kind of, like, you know, avoid going back into that hole. So, you know, praise for her. Hopefully that, you know, she gets through it and she's fine. Like,
I love her death.
Yeah, me too. And she's really talented. Beautiful. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, I love her.
And let's just hope that, you know, like, this doesn't really go a lot more serious than it should be. Like, obviously it was just like a bad joke, and maybe it just was looked at the wrong way. But like I was saying, these days, you know, society has become really overly fucking sensitive, and anything you say can be taken out of context and they'll kill you for it.
Yeah, you'll be killed.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it sucks. And so, you know, but let's, like I said, let's just pray for the best for Demi, and let's hope she gets through it. I think that's really all I had to say about the whole 21.
Yeah, I mean, wanted to touch on that.
Right,
and,
I think.
Yeah.
Let's talk about my boy Tekashi. No, he's not my boy. I don't like him. But
I have very mixed feelings.
So he's, I don't know, most of you guys, you know, a lot of you should probably know, he's been locked up. You know, he pretty much dug his own grave. You know, he got, the marshals came to his house and took him, you know, he's in jail. And now information has surfaced that he's working with the feds, which, you know, in other words, for most of us to understand, he's snitching. And he's probably snitching on all his team, he's snitching on all his friends, all the shit that he had dirt on. Like, look, I wouldn't even put past him that he's the reason why 21 Savage got detained by ICE. Because after that shit happened, out of nowhere, magically, people realized that 21 is actually not, in fact, from Atlanta. He's British. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not saying, like, this is just me, like, in my conspiracy bag. I don't really have any, like, confirmation of this. But I'm just, it wouldn't put me, you know, I wouldn't put it past 69 to be, you know, he's snitching on everybody else, so why wouldn't he? You know what I mean? Like, I saw a meme that said that, like, you know, like, oh, you'll ever realize that 21 looks kind of British? And it was like, that's exactly how I kind of, like, pictured it. Him and whoever, like, police he's working with, he'll kind of just brought something up. So it's like, look, there's no problem. I mean, to me, I don't have a problem. I've never been in a situation where I have to, you know, play with my freedom to, you know, and do whatever it takes to make sure I get out. But it's like, all this shit you portrayed in your music, all the shit you talked about, and you portrayed being this gangster blood, and you killed and all this other shit, and like, now look where you're at. Now you're in jail, and sucking dick, you know, and snitch on everybody to make sure you get out. It's just like, and a lot of the culture is actually killing him. A lot of people are saying what I'm saying, like, look, you can't really portray this gangster tough guy, you know, persona, and then, you know, when it comes to it.
Well, like I said before, when you think about this generation and you think about the generation before us, I mean, not really before us, but in this, you know, decades, the rap culture, everything is different. I don't think that most of the... Okay, perfect example. You know, when you think about Ice-T, when you think about Ice Cube, you think about Snoop, you think about Dre. These people were living the lives that they were rapping about because they were in the hood. They were, you know, stuck in, you know, all these different situations. Then you have people now, like we have a rapper here. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want anybody to come at me or try to, you know, come at me sideways. But he killed someone just to have a street cred, just to be that dude with the gun. And I feel like, you know, that's the difference between this whole thing. And I'm not really surprised by 6ix9ine because I feel like,
not at all.
You know, when he came out, it was just all about trying to be like the biggest gangster. It's really just to fit in with the culture. And that's why I say a lot of people do things not because they have that belief of what they're talking about, but they just want to fit in. And there's nothing different in the rap game and in the industry. So I think that, you know, and if it was me, I'm going to be honest with you. If it was me and you and I are best friends, if you killed somebody, I'm not doing 25 years for you.
No.
Because I'm going to be like, the last time I saw so-and-so, he was at this place. He lives on Port Malabar. You know, I'm going to tell him your whole information. I think
tell me how you really feel.
And I have a friend who said, if y'all kill somebody, don't ever text me. And I feel like, as we joke about it, when you're sitting in an office and you have like 4 detectives around you telling you like you're looking at 25 years, family. Right? And you have a daughter or a son at home, and you have a wife or someone that loves you. You're gonna really have to say to yourself, "What am I trying to do?" With my life?
Sure, yeah. You definitely look at things in a different perspective,
right? And people are calling him a snitch and stuff, and I feel like my angle about it is I'm not even taking it seriously because people are out here dying from poverty. We have veterans taking their lives with PTSD and taking other people's lives. Yeah. I could give a shit less about Tekashi and if he's a snitch or not because he put himself in that situation and he was never a gangster to begin with. At all. So I feel like
when he got locked up, I was like, yeah, he's
right. And
he's
his music, I've never even listened to that and be like, oh, that's a dude I wouldn't fuck with. Are you kidding me? Like,
I've never heard one song ever.
I feel like I would take Tyga more seriously and harder than Tekashi 6ix9ine would ever
I can't take Tyga seriously with cornrows. Before cornrows, yeah, that was my boy, but not...
And I don't know, I just feel like between all the... Like, perfect example, Soulja Boy, Tyga. These people are not making gangster rap music. No. They're making pop, rap, hip-hop music.
Yeah, so I think the only people who really have a right to be angry and have an attitude or feel some kind of way about what Tekashi's doing is the people who really... went through what they portray in their music. Like we talk about, Pac did, and Snoop, and NWA, and, all these other rappers that really grew up in the hood and really got to go through all this crazy shit they talk about, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, I understand what the point they're coming from. Like you said, I don't care about it. I knew it was going to happen.
And the people that he's dragging through the mud, they should also be upset, too, because they want to play in this game with him and be thugs, and now you guys are looking at time because you guys, you know what I mean?
I mean, you should know better. And he's a kid. You know what I mean? Like he's a kid. He's
and we're not even like that old. Like to say that, but he's a child. He has a child. And don't even get me started on his baby mama who wants to literally be on every Instagram page on earth. Like homegirl, you need to just chill out because they could put your ass in this too. Okay,
for sure.
Like I feel like if I was her, I would just keep my mouth shut, see how things are gonna play out.
No, you don't want to be involved with this shit.
Because when he goes away and the money dries up, who's gonna take care of these children? You're gonna have to get a regular ass job at Target like the rest of us, or be somebody's, a receptionist to make sure that you can pay these bills. And I feel like that's one of the most aggravating things to me too. That's been since he's been arrested. Is all these baby mamas coming out of the woodworks.
Oh yeah, my kid. My kid. Yeah. Like okay, what are you gonna visit? Oh, speaking of females, I'm gonna just give a little bit of advice. As some of you must have known, they finally sentenced El Chapo, big Mexican drug lord, finally sentenced him to jail. I think he has supposed to do like 70 years in jail or some shit. Basically, he's gonna die in there. So, my advice comes to, pertaining to that is like, boys, men, kids, don't cheat on your wives. Because when the police questioned his wife about what he was doing, she said, I don't know shit. I've never seen him. I've never seen him doing anything you guys are accusing him of. I've never seen him kill or sell drugs or be around drugs. His fucking side chick, she leaked it. She fucking leaked everything.
Like you guys talk about gangster, that's a thug.
You know what I mean?
That's a gangster.
So it's like, look, next time you think about cheating on your wife, think about think about El Chapo. Like, if Chapo would have stayed faithful, he'd still be out. He'd still be doing this fucking thing, sitting on billions. Now he's, gonna rot in jail because his side chick felt some type of way about, him probably still being married and, whatever, not exclusively being able to claim him and his money. So, just kind of getting off everything. Don't cheat because you never know. Your side chick might be angry and have some information you don't want out there.
Which any woman that wants
money. That's not the only reason not to cheat, but the Chapo will still be out here, and then the wall probably wouldn't even be built. Because Chapo wouldn't have let it, but now we got to deal with this bullshit.
Now I'm sure the wall will be built now that he's gone.
You know what I mean? Oh, there's definitely, he'll get out though. He did before, he will again. So the last thing about Tekashi, I guess, he's being sentenced. It's going to be September 2020. So I know he's got a long time to leak.
Be sentenced?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. It's like they're giving him all this time to leak and talk about this shit and snitch on all these people. Like, look, we'll give you over a year to really tell us what the fuck is happening, and we're gonna take everybody down. And by that time, they'll either be like, okay, you've been such a good boy, you're gonna let you out, or he'll probably be dead because. At the end of the day, you're playing with, what I mean? We all know what happens when you snitch in jail when it comes to all that kind of shit. So, I mean, I'm not saying I wish that on anybody, especially a kid with the kid, but, we all know how that shit happens. So, that was, that's all I had to talk about Tekashi. He's snitching, his sentence 2020 September. That's it. You know, anything else you want to add about Homeboy? Rainbow Head, Skittles?
I think that's it. I mean, I miss the way he says stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know. I honestly knew him for was the way that he would say stupid. But that's really
I know somebody else. You know what? That's just a Mexican thing. A lot of Mexicans say
really?
stupid like that. Yeah. So you just go become friends with Mexicans and they all say it the same way. It's funny as shit.
Yeah,
the way that he said just stupid.
So
I mean, I know he has a song called Stupid, but it's a lot of them, you know, so, you know, we'll be all right. Now we're going to talk about Mr. Taken himself, Liam Neeson. So I guess... Look, this sucks because I used to like Liam Neeson. He was such a dope actor. His Taken movies were dope, and he was cool in the A-Team and all the other bullshit that he's been in. But apparently, a couple of weeks ago, he made a tweet saying that
it was an interview that got leaked.
Yeah, but there was also a tweet saying that he basically, I don't really know what the tweet was, but it was something in the lines of him finding out about one of his friends being raped. And him wanted to go in the streets and kill the first black person. You know, he didn't say it in those words. Obviously,
right,
I'm not going to repeat it. But he said,
was
right. So he said his first thought was to go on Twitter and say, I wanted to go outside and kill the first black person I saw because one of my friends was raped by a black person. So it's like, come on, man. Like, I get it. Like, somebody you care about being raped is obviously awful. Like, since nobody wants to go through that, nobody wants to hear about anybody going through that shit. But like, do you really have to drag the whole black culture because one black person did that? You know what I mean? It's
right. Like, I feel like it's really
it's fucked up
for someone that is smart. No, I don't want to say smart. For someone that is
like, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna go in the streets and try to kill somebody. Like, you're not really like Taken. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really have the special set of skills. You will get your ass fucked up.
And I feel like that whole comment was just, I don't know, very...
It was out of pocket. It was not needed.
And, then Gina, I think her name is Gina Rodriguez. I don't know, one of them. Michelle Rodriguez, I think she plays in a movie with him that they did recently. She came out and said some dumb shit and was like, oh, he kissed a black woman in a movie. Bitch, I would kiss a dinosaur if you paid me enough. And I feel like, what does that have to do with the comments that he made, being derogatory or being, and I don't like saying... I feel like we toss around the word racist so much, but I feel like what he said was very ignorant and very, very just stupid. I feel
you can't generalize a culture because one person, made a
if that's the case, if that's the case, I wouldn't be with my motherfucking husband who's white. Right. I feel like
is he gonna shoot up a school too?
Right.
Or is he gonna do this?
Gonna make me a slave or something or sell me? You know what I mean?
Right. Am I here to sell you cocaine?
Her comment saying that made the situation even worse. That he kissed a black woman, so he can't be racist. I feel like now that it's kind of deaded, it's like I think that he still is gonna have a hard time because he just you should, to me, that's not something that you say in an interview. I'm gonna be honest with you. All. If I was ever to get to that point where people are interviewing me, there are certain things I'm gonna keep to my motherfucking self. I feel like the world doesn't need to know every single thought that's ever been on your mind. They're gonna kill you for it. They're gonna kill you for it. You'll get strung up for your own for your own thoughts and things that have happened. Because like
I said, like society is so sensitive now that every little thing they're gonna find something that they're going to kill you for, you know what I mean?
And there was no reason why he needed... I don't know what they were talking about. I didn't really... I only read a little bit of it because it was pissing me off. But I feel like there was no reason why he really needed to put his personal business like that. Because even if it didn't happen now, I feel like still at the time, anybody would be like, yo... If I was his PR, don't say that shit. Because we already have to clean up enough of people's messes.
What do managers do these days? I want to know.
Hello?
There's so much shit that all these artists are getting away with and doing and not doing. It's like...
Their PR fucking sucks.
These motherfuckers are getting paid so much money to manage somebody.
I'm convinced that he has no PR. I'm convinced that Lindsay Lohan has nobody on her team. Because this bitch is saying things left and... Can she afford people on her team? Well, that's true. She says things left and right.
Mean Girls was a long time ago.
And, I feel like these people, you gotta have... If you are a manager... Or you're, in some type of way associated with an artist and assistant, you need to tell these people stop fucking putting all their business out in the streets. Because everybody needs to know every thought that's been on their brain. So I feel like he brought that upon himself. He decided to, make himself look like an asshole. And now he has to deal with the repercussions.
Yeah. And it was just like... I just can't help but think that, like... If this happened, this interview was from a while ago. This tweet was from a long time ago.
Yeah.
It just magically surfaced.
Magically.
During a press run for a movie that he's part of that has to do with revenge and all this shit. So, like, if this is publicity...
He plays the same role in every fucking movie.
But if this is publicity, like, do you really have to resort to that to, promote your movie, whatever the fuck you're doing. Like that's it. That's disgusting, man. Like it's crazy. Like I don't understand. Like if your PR team needs to be fired, you need to be fired. Oh, it was cool because I did read that he was supposed to have a red carpet event at his premiere of his movie in I believe it was New York City, and then the AMC theater canceled that.
Yes.
Yeah, they said, "Nah, fam, when you're not showing up, like we'll show your movie obviously because we have to,
right?
But we're not."
Because the last thing we need is a big violent thing to happen.
He would have got his he would have got his shit fucked up.
Right, and I feel like with how the world is going, I feel like we need to try to avoid every type of situation like that. Right. And I guess since we're talking about that, do you want to go into the Jesse topic?
Yeah, let's.
Speaking of people who say things,
fucking crazy.
So, like I said before on Facebook, if you have me on Facebook, if you have me on Instagram, this has now become a case for Detective Olivia Benson or Lieutenant Benson and Elliot Stabler. This is some true Law and Order shit. And when it first dropped, I was like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. This black person was attacked,
of course, I fell for him.
Right, and I was like, he's
a lot of people
he's gay and stuff. So we were all, everyone that's like normal people, we were all like freaking out, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, everything just kind of went left. Like, things just started not to make any sense. Chicago PD was saying all these things, and now we're at the point where they're saying that it's fabricated.
Well, yeah. And like you said, when I first heard about it, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy, because the last thought in my mind was that this was made up, because my thing is like, how could somebody make something up like that? How could somebody, invent a hate crime of that magnitude?
Right.
So I didn't think of that. And then I started reading more into it, and then I'm like, okay, so then his first, he does a press run after the attack, quote unquote attack. This motherfucker is reading from fucking flashcards what he's supposed to say. Now, if you really went through an attack like that, if you really went through a hate crime and if you went through something that, horrendous, traumatic, do you really need, flashcards to explain how you feel and what happened?
And
that was the first red flag.
Right. The second red flag was this phone situation.
The phone situation.
If somebody assaulted me, I'm giving you my phone. If somebody even, here's the thing. I was a victim of assault when I was 16 years old. And my parents wanted to know my whereabouts. They wanted to know, I did all that stuff to give it to the police because I wasn't lying. And I feel like, no matter how he tries to spin it, saying that he had people's phone numbers on there that were personal and things like that, do you really think that the police are going to go out and give out, Justin Bieber's phone number or give out, the cast of Empire? They don't give a shit about that stuff. Like, they're trying to figure out if you were assaulted and who they need to go after. And I feel like, from the beginning, after I started to read more into it, because I'll admit, I just reposted it and I was like, oh my God, this is so terrible. Yeah, I didn't read into it. Right. But now that all these things are coming out, and people were comparing it to the Tawana Brawley case back in 90, I think it was 94 or 92, sometime around then, they were comparing it to something like that. Right. And I was like, like they had all the information and how her story literally fell apart every time she spoke. And that's kind of like what's going on now.
You know what, actually, I said that the first red flag for me was the flashcard situation. My first red flag for me was the fact that he was going to fucking Subway in the middle of the night, and you're, rich, and you're going to fucking Subway for a sandwich. Subway is trash. I worked at Subway. Shit is trash. So that was my first red flag. Like, and then they're like, oh, well, we found the Subway sandwich wrapper in his apartment. I'm like, what? So did he go home, come back out, then get attacked? Because that wasn't a fucking story. So it's like, that was the first red flag. There's the flashcards. And now, like, this thing just, like, I read yesterday that, there was police are investigating because they are almost certain that it was all staged, and he hired these other two stars, also from the show Empire. They're brothers. Let me see if I can say the name. They're
African, that's all I know.
They're African, Ola Binjo and Abimbola brothers.
Hopefully that's their names. If
I'm sorry.
Names, sorry.
Like I said, I probably killed it, but he hired them to stage the attack. It's like, that's fucking disgusting to me.
First of all, who has money for that shit?
Right. Well, he does. But it's like, nothing was had enough from the beginning, so, like, what did you think? Like, people are resourceful these days. The detectives are resourceful. Here's the thing. Not to bring racial tension into this, but the police are obviously going to look, and especially the Chicago police. Everybody knows the Chicago police is crooked as fuck, right? Not everybody, not all. I'm not saying that everybody in the fucking Chicago police force is, but a lot of them are. So, do you really think that the police is going to take it seriously when a black person is attacked? No, they're going to look into the facts and say, okay, let's see what really happened because we don't want to believe this.
Because they want to make you look as stupid as possible.
And your first thing is like, oh, I'm going to say that these people were Trump supporters and because that's what people will believe.
Right.
So they were wearing a MAGA hat. Like, yeah, okay, that's believable. Somebody who supports Trump would be against gays and blacks. So let's roll with that. I'm rolling with the story. So it's like, here's the thing. It's like, people feel how they feel about Trump, but it's like now you can't. Now you're making it hard for people who really go through hate crimes and really have dealt with it horrendous to be, believed and to like really be solidified because it's like, okay, somebody's making it up. It's like how we talked about last episode about the sexual accusations and how so many people are coming out that are obviously falsely accusing all these stars that's making it hard for the people who really went through it to be believed. So now we have that, and now we have hate crimes that we also have to worry about because it's like if somebody did it, it won't be the first or last time that somebody did it.
Right, and I think, another thing too is even like we talked about last time, people being accused of sexual assault and everything. And what really hurts the most, I think, for me with this situation is that, him being a black male, I feel like there are black men who get attacked. I wouldn't say now is becoming like a huge thing because we're a little bit more accepting, but there are a lot of people that have been crucified for the way that they live their lives, for, living out their truth. I mean, it's really disgusting to think that anyone would make this stuff up. And I saw a tweet that said, in 2 weeks from now, we'll be seeing that his family is asking for respect as he's entered, a facility for rehab or whatever. And I feel like as much as it was, like, I'm not going to lie, it was entertaining. But I feel like we as black people, these things continue to set us back further and further. Our ancestors, Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, they didn't do that for us to be here and for us to continuously, keep shitting on each other, as brothers and sisters. And I feel like what he did, I'm not saying we don't know if it's true or not, but if this is fake and if this is something that he created, I'm going to pray for him because he's just put everyone in a horrible, horrible spot. Because if I were to go out right now and somebody would attack me, the first thing they would ask is, are you telling the truth or whatever like that? They wouldn't believe that I had been attacked because of what's happened before, And I think for me, that's been the most disgusting thing by far with this whole situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like it makes it harder to solidify all these stories about hate crimes and sexual, misconduct or whatever you want to rape and all this other shit because there's so many other people that they think they can just, make a buck out of it. It's like,
right.
So it sucks, especially somebody like, it's another thing that I read about it. It's like, there was a music video that he was in or something and it kind of like had something to do with what he, supposedly was attacked with during this hate crime.
Right.
And it happened before the hate crime. So it's like, okay, so what? So it to me, it just looked like you were fucking promoting a music video.
Right,
this whole
exactly.
thing. It's like you're promoting
like a
music videos,
yeah.
publicity stunts. Like, fam, like there's so many better ways to promote your craft. Like, I get it. We're all trying to, make money.
We're all broke.
We're all broke. We're all trying to be something. But it's like,
but you're not broke because you're on a show that makes millions of dollars.
Yeah. So exactly. Like, why do you need to go through those things? It's like. There's so many extreme ways that Jem and I could go through to fucking get the show out there. Like, we could literally, hack CNN or something or do something
or
wild.
Suck some dick for somebody to play our podcast.
No, you're on your own with that. I'm not doing that, Jem. I don't care about the podcast that much. But, there's so many extreme ways that we could go about promoting this shit. But, like, why? It's not worth it. Everybody's resourceful today. No. Everybody's resourceful today. Excuse me, I can't talk. They're going to find out what you did. They're going to find out what really happened, eventually, even if it takes years. Like, do you think that R. Kelly was, expecting to finally be caught with all the nasty shit that he did years after all this shit happened? No.
Right.
He was probably chilling at his fucking mansion saying, oh, you know what? I did all this nasty shit with this kid and I got away with it. I'm cool. And now look, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're going to get caught sooner or later. They're going to find out. The internet is resourceful. People know how to find shit out, especially these days. So it's like, come on, man. Like, I just don't, I can't really understand why you have to go through that extreme,
The whole situation, I really feel like, I just really hope it gets figured out. I feel like, since he did all this stuff, I just want to know the truth. I just want to know what the hell happened. At this point, I don't even care about judging him. I just want to know what the fuck is going on with this man.
I'm going to take it as it was all, staged. It was all publicity because there's more evidence pointing towards that than the fact that he really was attacked. Especially, have you seen the picture of those brothers?
Yeah.
They're fucking brolic. And they left him a little scratch on his face.
Right,
If somebody like that's going to attack you, and here's the thing, white supremacists attacked you, but they're black. I don't understand how that works. You know what I mean? It's like, no, like I know like everything's like an equal opportunity employer, but they don't let black people in a white supremacy, clique. So it's like, this shit don't make sense to me, but I don't know. So like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see what really happens. Like, and like we all said right now, it's all, right now it's all in the air. It's he said, she said kind of bullshit, but we'll obviously stay,
Yeah, we'll stay updated.
We'll stay updated and see what the hell's going on. Hopefully, it's crazy. That's another list. Let's talk about, actually, there's one kind of like off the dome kind of topic that I just kind of remember that I really want to talk about. I'm sure you'll enjoy it too. Did you see the shit that's going on with Gucci? Where they're kind of being killed over their, they had like a scarf with a black face.
Yes.
And so a lot of people are kind of just saying, fuck Gucci. They're not wearing it anymore. They're, burning the clothes, which, okay, I don't understand the whole burning the clothes shit because you already paid for it.
I mean,
but
there are kids that need clothes.
Right.
I'm sure they don't give a fuck.
If you choose not to buy their stuff anymore, cool. But I guess there were some people who really didn't care to boycott Gucci. Mayweather was one of them.
I can't even talk about him because he's so.
That dude's. And then there was another one. I guess Kodak Black was another guy that said.
Oh God, I think I speak.
Look,
for a
I don't give a fuck about that. I'm still gonna wear this. And then Little Pump even said, like, look, I'm not wearing any more Gucci, but I'm still gonna perform my song Gucci Gang because it's the song that made me who I am. And okay, I kind of get that. That's cool because, the culture and, black people we're not really looking for Lil Pump. Like, he's Colombian.
Right, who the hell is that?
Which sucks. Did you know he's Colombian?
No, I thought he was
He's
white.
fucking Colombian.
Oh, I thought it was white.
No, I think he's half Colombian, half white or something like that, which is kind of a little, embarrassing to say, but
I was gonna say that's how the same way you just said that is how I feel about what's his name, Kodak Black.
Yeah.
I would.
And he's from Florida.
I would love to, and he's Haitian, which I'm Haitian. I would love to switch him out for what's that guy? That really hot guy from Power. I don't fuck with Kodak Black, and I think that that whole thing with. I mean, here's the thing. Do I think it was a stretch? I don't. I feel like anyone that has a history book can automatically look and see the similarities between the blackface situation. Do I feel like we need to be burning our clothes? No, because I feel like a lot of people, first of all, turn that bitch into a rag. If you have money to buy, you can have money to waste it. Give it away to someone.
There you go. Somebody needs.
Right. I feel like this whole situation, this is the thing, like you said, people love being fake outraged. Half these people that are boycotting, Gucci and stuff because of being blackface, what the hell are you doing for your communities?
The people who boycotted Nike when the whole shit happened with Kaepernick.
Right.
Like
what
I said, it's all fake support, right?
What are you doing to promote, racial
Otherwise,
wellness in your countries? Nothing. In your cities, in your towns, nothing. So I feel like this whole situation was very fake outrage. I feel like, to the people that it did matter to, as far as people that are black, these people that I had seen, I follow a lot of activists and a lot of, writers and stuff on Twitter. And I saw where their outrage was, and it was, greatly placed. But some of these people, these celebrities, all this fake outrage shit, I'm not wearing Gucci no more, all this dumb stuff. You spent thousands of dollars on this bullshit. This is not I'm sure there are things that we don't know about that they've seen or heard of, as far as, you know what I mean? Like the racial thing. Do I think that it was racist? Yes, I do. I think that they knew exactly what they were doing. I think that whoever just put this out wasn't thinking clearly. And
which is it brings me back to the point where I said it's like, who these people who are supposed to be managing and supposed to keep on the lookout for companies and people and artists and acts to not embarrass themselves and, put themselves in these fucking, really bad situations. They're not doing their job. So it's like, why are you paying all these people thousands of millions of dollars? Because if you really had a legit team, they would, make sure this shit never happened. Like the shit that happened with H&M, was it last year, 2 years ago? Yeah. With the monkey boy.
That was like so...
You know what I mean?
When
they're like, we didn't even notice. Like, how?
How did you not notice?
Do you not know what the fuck you're putting out? You know what I mean?
Right. Like, you guys review these things. I feel like even for us, before we post our podcast, we listen for inconsistencies.
Do we?
Derek listens for inconsistencies.
Shout out Derek. Cause
I feel like, it's so stupid to think that for people that have little things like this, that people that have big things like that don't don't have. We have one person. They have thousands of people. They got like a room full of people that are, that's their job is to go over things. So how the fuck do you not know that they're putting out things that maybe could offend people? You know what I mean? So
it's not that hard. Like I would trust Gemma. She would trust me that if I started walling out on an episode and started saying some racist shit, she would be like, chill the fuck out. And we have to take this out of the podcast. And she would trust me that if she was walling out, I'd be like, yo, we can't have this in the podcast. So it's like, it's really not that hard to catch. So it's like, you're either really fucking stupid and don't know how to do your job, or you purposely let that shit go out there. Because at the end of the day, no publicity is bad publicity.
Exactly.
And I feel a lot of the black people might not want to fuck with Gucci, but there might be some white people out there that be like, I want to fuck with Gucci even more now.
It doesn't affect them.
You know what I mean? Right.
Right. So I think that whole situation was just totally fake outrage. And I mean, it already has started to die down a little bit. Dapper Dan, he made his statements and things like that. But I think at this point, they did it. Like you said, no publicity is bad publicity. So whatever happened, and it's over and done with. Like I always say to people, I would love to be fake outraged, but I'm more outraged in the fact that, we have things going on in our community that we're not paying attention to. That really affects us, yeah. And, speaking of that, I don't know what topic we had next on the list, but I want to talk about...
We just had one more, not so serious.
Okay. And I want to talk about, speaking of things going on in communities, a lot of you guys that listen to us are local, and I have some friends that listen that are not local, but I've shared this on my Facebook and on my Instagram. In the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of people go missing in our area. And
that shit is no joke.
We can't, for sure, we're not, Chris and I are not, investigators or police or whatever, but I feel like with common sense, that's something to me that we should be taken seriously.
Especially with kids. Kids.
And nobody is saying, I've seen a lot of comments saying, do you want people to stay inside their house? No, we don't, I'm not saying.
You can't live in fear.
Right, you can't live in fear. But at the same time, I feel like, people should take things more serious. And I think
100%.
That also includes our law enforcement. Because one of the people that passed away, she was found 20 miles from where she was last seen. And I feel like, something happened and we weren't taking this seriously, and now 20 miles away and she's dead.
I read something about them not even considering there being a serial killer in Brevard County, because a lot of the people, 2 or 3 people that have gone missing in the past couple of months have all gone missing in the same area from the same gas station.
Right.
So it's like, okay.
Well, one of them, the young boy that they found missing, I have close friends that say that they believe that it was more so something that had to do with drugs. But, we don't know. We really don't know. And I feel like until we know, it is better to be safe than to be sorry. And I think that people are saying like, oh, we shouldn't care. We shouldn't, stay in our homes and things like that. Like, go out and have fun and live your life, but be cautious of your fucking surroundings.
Yeah, we're in crazy fucking times.
Don't let your kid be, you're all the way back there and your kid's
no. I hate when I see that shit.
Right. Anything can happen. I feel like if you know that your child is going out somewhere, make sure that you are attentive to... My thing is like, even though my son is young, he's 7, I feel the need that he needs to have some type of communication device to connect with me. He knows how to dial my phone number on his grandparents' cell phone. He knows, how to contact me through Facebook Messenger because he has it on his app. Right. We need to do things like that so our kids are still allowed to be kids, but they're allowed also, we have that fear as parents that something is always going to happen.
In the words of 50 Cent, get the strap. You gotta get the strap.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I feel like even as adults, like, I like to go to the gym late at night. And now I'm terrified because I don't know what would happen if I go and, at this point I've been carrying a baseball bat and I feel like aluminum? I've been lifting. Yes.
There you go.
I've been lifting weights at this point. So if you're trying to fight, I'm lit. Let's go. But I feel like, we need to take things a little bit more seriously.
Right. Because I saw a post earlier today actually on Facebook. It was a girl, and I believe it was a girl I'm in the friends on Facebook, or one of the girls shared the post from the original girl, and she said that she was at the Publix in Melbourne, on Lake Washington Publix, and she was just, doing some shopping, and she was stopped by another lady and was warned of the fact that there was 2 men that was following her, like, throughout the whole fucking store, and, like, they were literally following her. She had to tell her, so thankfully she had a friend that worked at the Publix. She informed her friend, and she had another one of the cashiers, which was a man, walk her to her car and make sure nothing crazy went down. So it's like, I mean, I'm not saying that's have nothing to do with this. It could just be some perverted kids, trying to get a phone number and being fucking assholes. But, like, are we really getting to a point where we can't even fucking go grocery shop?
Right.
This is the kind of shit that happens at Walmart, not fucking Publix. You know what I mean? Like, leave that shit at Walmart. Leave that shit at, Dollar General. Don't be bringing that shit to the high end like stores. Like I like Publix. I like getting subs.
And I feel like
I'm not trying to get kidnapped when I get a chicken tender sub.
It's
like,
crazy because I see people posting all this stuff. First of all, if you look at me sideways and you try to approach me, I'm fighting. I don't care who you are.
1000%.
Try to, I will call the police and fight at the same time. Like, we have to learn to protect ourselves. There are, gyms and places that offer free, kickboxing classes, free boxing classes, things like that. Be more part of your neighborhood. Know what's going on. This sounds really stupid, but, back in the day, what are those things called? The community watch or whatever, crime watch. People really were active in that bullshit.
Oh, yeah, the neighborhood watch?
Neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
And people were keeping each other safe with that
I think that shit was dead when George Zimmerman's bitch ass kind of fucked it up and killed Trayvon Martin. I think that's when they did it.
Right, don't be a George Zimmerman.
Don't be an asshole.
But I feel like, we need to be more protective of each other and of ourselves and just, do things have fun, but do things in caution and, change your routine. Don't always take the same way to go someplace because as much as we don't realize it, there are some people that are really fucking sick. And I feel like, okay, let me rephrase that. We do realize it, but I don't think we really... I don't think people it's a reality, right?
I just don't think it's the part where we fuck up is that we acknowledge that there's a problem. We acknowledge that there's some sick fucking people out there, but we fuck up where we think we're immune to it. We say this will never happen to us,
right?
And we can't move like that.
And I think with that, like I said, as much as I worry about a lot of things, the safety of my community and my town is something that I really am urging people to think differently about. Like I said, be a part of your community, get to know different people. And I mean, just do things in moderation. Don't, like I said, I'm just giving you guys things that I've talked to a friend of mine that's a police officer. He said to make sure that you change when you go a certain way, go another way. He said, you can get to the
don't make
same,
a routine.
Right, because people are fucking sick.
For sure.
And people
they'll learn it.
Right. People that you wouldn't even think of would be like crazy. Yeah. I don't like saying the word crazy. People that you wouldn't think of would be mentally ill in that type of way. They catch on to things like that, So just make sure you keep yourself safe and be aware of what's going on in your community. I listened to a show, shout out to the Vanish podcast. She's fucking amazing. She talks about missing people in America. And if you guys actually really sat down to really think about how many people are missing in just one state, I guarantee you would take every single thing.
Shit, that's the highest number.
Right.
For sure.
So, with that being said, we're going to jump onto a lighter topic. It's, I think, our last topic. But we just want to talk about that because, we're living here, and I can honestly say, like Chris said, I never thought that it would be my reality, that where I live, that things like this would be happening.
Like what happened to me? Not in this town. Nothing happens in this. Crazy. But this is way off topic. How do you deal with a bad texter if you're a bad texter yourself? How do you talk to somebody?
I just don't text them.
But if you're like legit trying to let's say you meet a guy. Mm-hmm. And you really legitimately want to kick it with this dude, you want him to take you out, you want to hang out, but it's either you never text back or he never texts back. How do you go about that? How do you go around that?
So,
you know what I mean?
I like that you say that because when I first met Taylor, he was a horrible texter. I would text him on Monday and he would text me back on Friday.
That's what I forget,
Right. So what I started doing was I just started, hey, let's hang out. I would just literally be like, let's hang out. Because I got to a point where I realized some people don't like texting. Some people have busy schedules where they can't text. And at the time...
I just forget, to be honest. I'm just not... I have to be, I don't know, okay, I definitely don't like talking on the phone. I don't like FaceTime. Don't fucking do that. I hate it. I hate being, I've met people hey, you should call me. You should FaceTime me. I'm like, no. I don't have a makeup on. I don't have my wig. You know what I mean? It's like, so I don't like it. Right. So, I am a catfish. So, shout out to y'all who still put up with me after you met me in person. But I'm definitely a catfish. These tattoos are all photoshopped. My accent is obviously fake. I was called out about that shit one day.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was with a buddy at downtown Melbourne. And it was me and him. We talking to these females. And they're I don't know, we're so how come you guys are faking your accents? Because he's Russian, so he obviously has an accent. Then I have my accent. And I'm like, excuse me, what? Why would you fake your accent?
You have a friend with a Russian accent?
Yeah.
And I haven't been introduced?
Yeah. Dimitri. I'm going to have him on the show. He wants to come on the show. I'm going to bring him to one of the shows because he really wants... He's the funniest motherfucker you'll meet, besides me, obviously. He's funny.
Okay.
But
I'm done.
He's so we were downtown and we were talking to these females and they're we're just talking and they're like, so why are you guys faking your accents? That shit threw me off. I'm like, excuse me, what? Do you guys really think you have to fake your accents to pick up females? I'm like, I'm not faking my accent. This is I want to fucking get rid of it, bitch. Are you crazy? And then she's like, oh, his accent sounds fake. I'm like, no. where you guys from? He's like, I'm Russian. And I'm like, and I'm Colombian. And she's like, oh, you don't even look Hispanic. I'm like, bitch, my mom looks white, so I'm white, okay? But I'm Hispanic. Do you want me to speak
People
Spanish
can
to
be
you?
different
Right.
complexions.
Like, we're not
That's
all
allowed.
fucking brown. We're not all, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like the outdoors, so I'm white. Okay? If I went outside and I worked hard like the rest of the Hispanics do, I probably look like them, but I don't. I'm a bitch, so I stay inside. I work, inside and indoors.
Right, so
you're
not gonna be like my color,
Right.
because I have people that I know are Colombian that are really like that are dark.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, but back to the shit. It's like, so okay, so yeah, you try to hang out with them, but like, what if it goes to that point where like you both agree you're gonna hang out? Let's say you talk to this girl, and then you both acknowledge the fact that you guys are both fucking shitty texters,
Right.
and you reply to each other 2 weeks later, and then you say, okay, well, let's just fucking hang out. We're gonna hang out Wednesday. Okay, cool. Well, text me on Wednesday, or I'll text you on Wednesday, and that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? It's like,
And I feel like at that point,
it
for
sucks.
me, you just dead it, because this is the
Right.
thing. When I was talking to my husband, before we were hanging out, he was the worst texter. He just would never, text me back. And then one day I said, hey, we should hang out. And I said, just text me on X day. And that day came, and he said, hey, is 6 good? And from that moment on, it was like, okay, now I know how to deal with this person. I'm not going to, be that endless texter.
And
I'm going to be that person that just, hey, I'm hanging out with you.
And then the other problem is like, I don't know if you go through it. I go through it because, my anxiety, and because I don't know, I guess I'm weird, but you make plans with somebody, you're like, yeah, okay, we're going to hang out, we're going to do this. And then the day comes, you're like, fuck it, why did I make the plans? I don't want to see this person. So it's like you obviously have to blame yourself for it, but it's like...
I'm the same way, and I feel like...
I do that shit all the time.
I mean, you get tired, and you...
you're not in the energy.
Right, I'll make plans with my girlfriend, and shout out to all y'all, I love you, even if I have broken our plans.
I love y'all guys so
I just
much.
Sometimes I just don't feel like leaving, and I feel like, with me, like, with my stomach starts to hurt randomly, or I get really bad headaches, and it seems like you're being flaky, but, sometimes you just don't want to fucking hang out, and it's not anything against that person, it's just like, you don't want to leave your fucking house, you know what I mean? And I think when it comes to situations like that, that's different. But at the same time, I think we're in that age group where either we're going to hang out or not going to hang out. I'm not going to text you all fucking day, 24 hours, hey, what's going on? No, it's just too much. I have a lot of things going on. People got to sleep. If we have kids, there's always something going on with those little monsters. I almost said motherfuckers. Those little people. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like, I can't be at my phone 24 hours a day. And at this point, I think I'm starting to get carpal tunnel because I'm on my phone so fucking much.
Right.
So I'm like, now that I'm this age, and I mean, it's different if you're not, in a marriage or a committed relationship. You just don't want to fucking text all the time.
Yeah, that's how I am. It's like, I mean, the weekdays, because my schedule's crazy. Like, I work 2 jobs. My only really free night is like Monday nights when I don't do shit. And the weekends, I'm obviously with my daughter. So it's like, I really don't want to fucking see people. But the thing is, like, it sucks because it's not that I don't want to see that person. It's just that, like, I don't have the energy or I don't have, like, the desire. But it's, like, sucks because I'm, like, I legitimately want to hang out with this person. But it's, like, I don't know. I guess I'm just fucking stupid and to get over it. But in other news, you guys may have been, I just found this out, Jim. Heard some kind of, like, static in the last episode where it kind of comes and goes. I just realized it's my fucking cell phone doing that. Because every time I got it close to the microphone, I started doing it right now. So it's not going to happen anymore. Maybe. So, that's that. Let's just get that out of the way. And let's just, the last topic. Last topic is a little, something I kind of like, I don't know, I was thinking about the other day. And, I think about stupid shit. But it's about being a trick. Being a trick. And not in the sense of being a hoe or just sleeping around. Being a trick. The definition to me of a trick is like, and it could be a man or a female. Let's say you're kicking it with somebody. Let's say I meet a girl and we're not an item. We're not official, but I'm buying her all this shit. I'm paying her bills. I paid her rent. I bought her a car or that kind of money. That's just hypothetically speaking. I'm buying her all these bills. I'm paying all these bills and buying her all this shit. And there's no item. There's no like label between me and her. Like, we're not a thing. We're not dating. We're not engaged or anything. That makes you a trick. To me, I think that makes you a trick. What do you think?
I think that
I've never been a trick. Let's just say I can't afford my own shit. I'm paying somebody else's.
Okay, for me, that term, I've never heard that term. I think that would make you a sugar daddy or someone with an arrangement. But I feel like no man spends money on a woman unless they want to. I feel like if I've had guys straight up tell me, who make more money than me, I'm not going to buy you X, Y, Z. I'm not going to pay your bills. Just set it right off there. Just because I have more money than you doesn't mean that you can't take care of yourself. And I was cool with that. I was totally cool with, shout out to all you dudes. I'm not going to say your names, but shout out to y'all who put me in check, when it came to that. And I, stupidly when I started dating guys, at that time, who made more money than me, I just really assumed they would pay for my drinks at the bar, they would buy my dinner, whatever. And, like I said, these two guys put me in check and they're like, I'm not going to do that. You have your own money.
But there's got to be a balance because it's like, I've been on dates where I go out and we get drinks or food or whatever and I go to pay and the girl's like, wait, you're paying? Why are you paying? No, I have to pay. I have to pay for my shit. And this never happened to me before. I'm like, wait a minute. Nobody's ever paid for your dinner? Like, that's disgusting. Come on. Like, we got to do better than that. Like, I believe, like, it's cool when you're with somebody and you're an item and you're dating. It's cool to go back and forth. Like, okay, I picked the tab up. If you want to pick up the tab next time,
definitely go back. You're welcome to. I don't think that it should.
But it's like it should never be one-sided. And it's like the fact that I met like plenty of females that have always been like, no, I've never been on a date, or no guy's ever offered to pay for my dinner. It's always me having to pay for them, or at least pay for my own shit.
Dates are so irrelevant. Let me tell you, the last date I remember going on was with this dude named Jake, and I mean, he picked me up. It was really sweet. He picked me up. He took me out to get food. We went.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to. I think it was Olive Garden.
Oh, you're trash. You're trash, Jake. Jake, you're trash.
And he opened the door for me. He, from that moment on, and then, he paid for everything.
That's another thing. Like, people don't do that anymore. Like, I always open doors and they're like...
people don't do it anymore. And
what are you doing?
He was a very... And, the crazy thing is he never even tried to sleep with me. We just went on a date.
Oh, you trash, bro.
We just went on a date, And I think after going on a date with him, I required that. Like, when I was on Tinder back in the day, I would be like, I want to go on a date. Like, if we're talking, we're going on a date. And, it was like... I never expected him after that to just, pay for everything.
Right.
And me and my husband had this argument. We had this discussion today. I wanted Makoto's and he wanted, whatever. And then he goes, well, who's paying? He goes, who's paying for it? And in my mind, I'm like, you're my husband. We have the same bank account. So really both our stupid asses are paying for the Makoto's. And it really
just
doesn't
who's swiping the card. Exactly. You're asking me who's swiping?
Right. Who's swiping? And I feel like, even with your spouse, you just expect them to pay for things. But, I have my own card with my money. So I'll swipe my card or whatever. But I feel like a woman now in this day, if you guys have an arrangement, that's cool. Shout out to all the sugar babies out there really hustling and getting their money. But I feel like unless you have an arrangement set up like that, you shouldn't really ever expect someone to pay everything for you. And men, you guys shouldn't be throwing your money out here to all these ladies. And then when they play you, the shit out of you, you're confused. Don't.
That's the thing. That's why it was a trick.
Don't be set up for failure.
Yep, that's what happened to me.
If you meet that girl, and she's making Target money, don't try to take her. Don't try to take her, to Disney and all the other places, thinking that this bitch is gonna pay half, because clearly she ain't got no motherfucking money.
Look. I just want to be able to claim the money I spend on females on my taxes.
Hopefully,
because if I could do that for my last relationship, not to trash anybody, but I'm trashing you, I would probably have my car paid off by now. Okay, maybe not, but it would. You know what I mean? So it's like that's what makes you. Is that what makes you a trick? Like what you said, throwing the money at somebody not really knowing their intentions, when they could just one day be like, "Hey, thanks for buying me this phone," or "Thanks for paying my rent," or this for that. Peace. That's what makes you. To me, that's what makes you a trick. Look, I came in here today to talk about being a trick, and I didn't realize that I will be talking about myself, so I don't want to talk about this anymore because I kind of just attacked myself and it blew up on my face. But yeah, that's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be a trick. Don't be me. You really got to know people's true intentions. Like you said, there shouldn't be a thing like we're in 21st century. Shit's expensive now.
Right.
You shouldn't expect the other person to pay for everything every time.
And men, this is coming from a woman.
The other thing is like, if you're going out on a date with a female, man, this is just for you, man. Like, make the woman feel like she's on a fucking date. Open a door for her. ask her, how the food was. Talk about shit. Don't talk about yourself. Don't talk about how much money you make. Don't talk about shit like that.
I would say when you go out with somebody, 2 times tops is the only time that you, pull out your wallet to pay for somebody. I know that sounds. Something else. I'm like, I know that it sounds really stupid, but like, if somebody doesn't offer to share in that, that way with you, then right off the bat,
have you ever gone on a date and you expect them to pay, so you just kind of go to the bathroom and hope that when you come back, the bill's already paid for? You know what I mean? It shouldn't be like that, but I know plenty of people that.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never
gone to the bathroom because I'm obviously, if I'm taking somebody out, like, I'm the kind of guy that, like, if I want to go out with a friend and get dinner or drinks, and if I really just want to be around them and have their company. And they're like, look, I don't really have money. I'm the kind of be like, look, I got you because I know you'll give me next time. It's on me. Let's just go out.
I think there should be like, we bounce back.
And then you got the friends that are say,
you know what? Since you said that, I know that we've gone on a bit, but this is one story I have to tell you that goes to this thing. So I went to Kansas City back when I was music scouting, and I met this dude there who had a band, really nice dude. Now we all know that musicians are fucking broke. Okay, we get it. But he was like, we should grab dinner. So I really want to embarrass this dude. So he's like, we should grab dinner. So I go with him and we go to this restaurant. And mind you, this is my first time, being in this place. I've never been to Kansas City before besides then. He suggests this restaurant and we go. So we're sitting there talking and stuff. And he whispers to me, I know I invited you here, but do you got me? Because I don't have any money. And in my mind, I was like, this is a joke.
Hey. I was like, shout out to you, bro.
What is Jesus? God, I totally forgot his name too.
I know I invited you.
But the way that he whispered it to me was like he was about to tell me that, the president was sitting behind me. He just whispered to me like, you got me. So then at that point I was like, okay, he probably forgot his ball, whatever, I got you. So when I was scouting in the area, I have my hotel and everything. So the next day he hits me up and he's like, hey, they're having this show at this bar. Do you want to come hang out? So I'm thinking, cool. Like he invites me out. I had worked all that whole day and I go out with him. This is just to get drinks.
Right.
And then we go to the bar and then, he says to the bartender, it's 1 tab. So I'm thinking, okay, he's got me. And then he's like, oh, don't forget to pay the tab, before we leave. When I tell you that
got finessed.
I was so totally finessed. I was so shook and I was like, bro, like, how stupid am I? Like, to think that this person, like, he did it the day before and then I was doing it again. And that's when I realized, like...
How much was the bill at the bar? Was it a big bill?
I want to say it was about, like, $56.
Son.
And he was ordering drinks nonstop. Like, wasn't even drunk, just ordering drinks nonstop. And I got to the point I was like, listen, you got me paying for this shit. You better drink every last drop in that motherfucking cup.
And I'm cutting you off.
And I feel like, looking back at it, it was really my fault. So I feel like there should be lines and boundaries that are crossed. So I think, next time, this goes for man, woman, whomever, just lay the boundaries out there and don't always offer to pay for stuff so you don't get taken advantage of.
Yeah. Don't, but also, you know what I mean? It's like, it gotta be back and forth and don't go spending money on somebody that you don't really know their true intentions because you end up like me. Whatever. We're off that now. There's another fucking point that I wanted to make, but I can't remember now. No, I think that's it. Fuck it.
Yeah, guys.
Well, we're gonna end this. What's it called? Podcast. Yeah, we're gonna end this podcast. We're gonna play a song with one of my boys. The dude I went to school with. I think middle school, high school. Known him for a while. He goes by KVO. This song is called "Dead Friends." You can find him on Instagram at his at KVO official. So just look him up. We're gonna play the song now, and this is gonna wrap up the episode. This is the All Talk Show. With Jeb and Chris, so we'll talk to you guys in a couple of weeks. So hope you guys enjoyed our shit talking. Don't forget to like and share our podcast. Shit, I'm like, okay. Oh, another thing I wanted to address before we wrap this shit up. I know that and this is kind of probably my fault because I know that when I first said that we were gonna have longer episodes, I guess everybody just kind of took it as we're going to be talking a lot more, 3-4 hours. So I understand that a lot of people that listen to the episode that we put out last week were kind of not disappointed, but they just were kind of brought to my attention that they wish that we would have kind of stayed on the topic a lot, a little longer. But so it's I guess I just kind of wanted to apologize for maybe kind of putting the wrong, concept of whatever we said we were going to do. And the other thing is last week, most of the content that we covered in the episode was we didn't know a lot of shit about it. You know what I mean? And like maybe okay, they're gonna be like, well, don't talk about it if you don't know a lot about it. Well, suck my dick. It was just all breaking news. So just kind of we're working on like we did say we're gonna have a little longer episodes, but it's. We have a lot of shit that we like talking about, so we don't like staying on one topic for too long because it just kind of takes away from the rest of it.
Right.
And plus, there's not a lot of shit to talk about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really, I don't stay on the gossip, pages on Facebook and Instagram all day learning everything about everything. But like, that's what thing is like. If you guys want us to really talk about shit, this is when you guys comment on our videos and on our pages and say, look, I wish you guys would cover this or talk about this because like. We're getting this, criticism or, whatever advice.
Feedback.
But like, we don't really, feedback. But we don't really know what to do with it until you guys specifically say, talk about this. And like, we're gladly.
Right. And I mean, just like any regular talk
that.
show, you have a topic, like if you watch The View, for example, or, State of the Union, like you find a topic that you talk about and you discuss it, and that's it. There's no need to have, a 3-hour discussion on 21 Savage. I mean, you guys have,
phone.
That's the thing. If you guys saw it, obviously we saw it. We're going to give you guys our opinions and our thoughts, and then we're going to go from there. You're not forced to listen to the show. You don't have to listen to the show. We appreciate everyone that listens to the show. But at the same time,
shout out to y'all, man.
Chris
shout out
said,
to the listeners.
Any suggestions that you guys have, feel free to DM us. Say, hey, listen, can you talk about XYZ? We will talk about it. We love it. I mean, this is what we do. We're having fun. But at the same time, we don't want to have a show that's 3 hours long because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't listen to a podcast that's longer than an hour.
Look, and if you want me to talk about, our president, can you wait till I'm a citizen so I can do that? Because I don't want to get deported beforehand.
Right, I love my best friend and I want to be here for life.
Let's just wait till after March 11th, then I can talk all my shit. But for now, I'm not untouchable yet, at least not by, Trumpo. So, we'll leave it on that. Like I said, we just, we always accept, feedback and criticism. We're not fucking... experts in this. We just started doing this. We do this for fun. So, just tell us what you want to hear. Like we'll gladly listen to it and ignore it or, honor it and, go from there. So now, that we're off that, I just kind of wanted to, shout out to all the people who listen to, our show and take time to go on YouTube and SoundCloud and listen to our shit and tell, message me and say, I enjoyed the show and everything. And I know we're aware that, we haven't been able to get our latest episodes on Spotify or iTunes. We don't know what the fuck the problem is, but we're working on it, so hopefully we'll be able to get it on those platforms soon. But for now, SoundCloud and YouTube, which actually works out for y'all because those are both things you don't have to pay for. So I'll obviously be posting both links until we can get Spotify and iTunes popping again. So, again, thank you all for listening to the shit. Now is when the song is actually going to be playing. Again, the song is called Dead Friends by KVO. Follow him on Instagram at KVO Official. And, that's it. This is a wrap up the show. This is Chris. And,
all right, guys, it's Jem, and we'll see you on the next one.
Y'all take care. Stay out of trouble.
This episode of All Talk with Jem and Chris was brought to you by JMSCA Media. Please follow us on Instagram at JMSCA Media and check out our website at giftofgab.space.
No brego contigo, no somos panas, eres enemigo. Tengo los papeles de informantes en camino. Pretendo de bichote por andar su testigo. No importa dónde te escondas, tenemos en busca a todo tu caserío. Libera ley low, vienen los asesinos. Fast inflexión, amigo muerto sin discusión. You already know, te enseño a ser capo. Como quiera eres sapo, fogoneo si te encontramos. Fast inflexión, amigo muerto sin discusión. You already know, te enseño a ser capo. Como quiera eres sapo, fogoneo si te encontramos. Si sobrevive, se queda apuñalado. Amigos falsos no se quedan a mi lado. Sinceramente hablando, no brego contigo. No somos panas, eres enemigo. Tengo los papeles de informantes en camino. Pretendo de bichote por andarlo es un testigo. No importa dónde te escondas, tenemos en busca a todo tu caserío. Libera ley low, vienen los asesinos. Fast inflexión, amigo muerto sin discusión. You already know, te enseño a ser capo. Como quiera eres sapo, fogoneo si te encontramos. Si sobrevive, se queda llegando. Aquí se honora a todos los leales y reales. Yeah. Aquí se honora a todos los que estaban conmigo desde el principio y nunca me dijeron no. Hey, nunca pusieron el pie en mi camino. Nunca, baby, lo sé. Cabrón. Sabe que yo soy el tipo que nunca me olvido. No brego contigo, no somos panas, eres enemigo. Tengo los papeles de informantes en camino. Frenteando de bichote, pero ando su testigo. No importa dónde te escondas, tenemos en busca a todo tu caserío. Libera ley low, vienen los asesinos. Fast sin flexión, amigo muerto sin discusión. You already know, te enseño a ser capo como quiera, eres sapo. Fogoneo si te encontramos.